Yo, what's up everyone? It's KaBlamDayud! And today, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make your very own 808s using only 3x oscillator in FL Studio. It's a little tricky, but it can be done. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the end, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. And if you'd like to see more content in the future, please consider subscribing as well. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Alright, so here we are in FL Studio. So what we're going to be using today is 3x oscillator, which is actually a stock plugin from FL. So what we're going to do is these two oscillators right here, we're not going to be using them. So take the volume right here and turn them down so you have a pure sine wave, which will sound like this. That's a pure sine wave right there. So now we're going to take that, put that down to C1. I tried doing this on C2 and everything just so that way I have more tones and all stuff. But whenever I went to go and detect the pitch regions and all that stuff, it was always a little bit higher than I really wanted it to be. So putting it on C1 will definitely keep your subs intact. And the reason why we're also doing this on the key of C is just so that way when you go to load it up into the channel rack or the play or a sampler and stuff, you literally can just automatically start using it in any key you want and everything because it's already tuned to C. So you literally can take that and go to like C sharp, D sharp, or even F sharp and all that stuff, and it would still sound great and also because it's all fundamentally toned to C. Make that about 2 bars long so that way it's a pretty lengthy 808, and we're gonna drag that into the playlist. Right, cool. Then we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna create an automation clip for the course pitch because what we're gonna be doing this time is creating like a transient hit for the 808 so that way it has like that thump to it when you first hear it. So we're gonna take this course pitch right here and we're gonna create an automation clip. And before we go messing around, we're gonna go ahead and take this one, take this little point, and we're gonna copy its value so that way it stays at 50% because we're going to keep this fundamental pitch where it's at. So to create the transient hit, we're going to zoom on in, we're going to grab this, drag that all the way up, and then make a point right here, and paste the value of the last one right there. Like you can kind of already hear the clickiness, but we're going to have to do a little bit of adjustment to really make it sound good. Nice. So now what we're going to do is go to 3x oscillator again. We're going to hit this little button right here, which is the detailed settings. We're going to go all the way to, oh yeah, here. We're going to go all the way to the volume. We're going to create a automation clip for that, and we're going to have it gradually fade out. Nice. So now what we're going to do, we're going to actually route this to the mixer track because we're going to actually do some post-processing on this. Usually what I like to do with my 808s is I'll actually grab a wave shaper and I'll beef it up a little bit. Adjust it a little bit. Alright, dope. Now it's got that beefiness to it. Then what we're going to add is a little bit of a distortion, and I usually like to use fast distortion just for the hell of it. So we're going to use Fruity Fast Distortion. Usually my favorite preset is Warmth, just to give it some extra clarity. Nice. Sounds dope. Now to get rid of some of the harsher frequencies, because as you hear it, there's like the high-end frequencies that you hear. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an EQ on top of that. We're going to create this into a low pass filter. We're going to drag this down till we basically get the right tone for it and get all the harsh frequencies out. Alright, right around there. Right around there. That's dope. So now we're going to create an automation clip for this. And we're going to copy the paste of this one. Or copy the value of this one. And we're going to create a little transient hit like this. But to make it even easier, you can go to Articulator Tools. Copy the one from the coarse pitch. Copy the state of that one. Go back over here, Articulator Tools, and paste it. And now you got the same one as oscillator coarse pitch. Only this time, for these end ones, you're going to paste the value of the previous one, of the already previous one that you got from adjusting it with the EQ. And this is just so that way in the higher frequencies you can get that initial click and everything, that initial click, like, doom. But it's going to gradually go back down to the fundamental frequencies that you want to hear, so that way it's not always so harsh. Like, already that sounds good like that. That already sounds good just like that. So what we're going to do now, to make it stand out on its own, we're going to drag an Edison on there. We're going to put this to on play. Going to hit record. And we're going to record our 808. Alright. So now, take this one. We're going to detect to see if the pitch regions are exactly like we want them. So go over here, hit detect pitch regions. Bam! Fundamental tone is C2. Exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want. So now we're going to grab this one. We're going to normalize it so that it has extra beef. Nice. Alright, so now what we're going to do with this, we're going to drag this into the channel rack by using this. This is the drag and copy sample mode in Edison right here. Just go ahead, drag that into your channel rack, and now you have your own 808 that you can use. Now you have complete control of it. You can basically adjust these envelopes to have complete control, but hey, everything's in C and everything. Now, of course, you see right here, it's in C5. That means you have to play it in C5 and up in order for the 808 to work properly. Anything lower than that and anything lower than that is just going to sound muddy as hell, and it's just going to be all over the place. So C5 and up, you'll be fine. And also be sure to cut itself right here. Be sure to cut self right here in the wrench bar right here, because if you don't, then freaking when you try to do like glides and try to add an 808 on top of each other and everything, it's just going to multiply itself over time, and then it's just going to create such a muddy mix. So you don't want that. So be sure to cut itself at the end. But now that we got all that, we basically have our fundamental 808. So now we can actually go into the playlist, create like a new pattern. We can go to the playlist now, and we can basically just have fun with the 808. Nice. We can transpose that up to E now. Hey. Hey, that sounds cool. And what we can do now is we can actually add little slide notes and everything. So hit this little slide note, and you can start doing your own little custom glide. Hey, cool. You can even transpose this up to a different key if you want. And now you can basically just add like a drum loop and all that stuff if you want, just to freaking mess around with it and stuff. Pretty much, guys, that's exactly how you make an 808 with 3X oscillator in FL Studio. Hopefully you guys found this very useful.